Joining me right now is Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg. He is the co-chairman of the America First Policy Institute Center for American Security, the former national security advisor to President Donald Trump and Vice President Mike Pence, and a Fox News contributor. General, thanks very much for being here this morning. We are in the middle of a live situation where rocket fire is being shared back and forth between Hezbollah and Israel. Your reaction?
Yeah, thank you, Maria. Thanks for having me this morning. It's good to be with you. Look, the Israelis can finally turn to their most current threat that they've got, the most important threat, which is Hezbollah. They've kind of finished with Hamas. In fact, the reports are that Sinwar, the leader of Hamas now, has either been wounded or is dead. And they turn to Hezbollah. And the reason why that's so important is because that's the real threat. It's a better funded organization. It's a military type organization. It's closely supported by Iran. And they're starting to turn towards Hezbollah. They've done some great things there recently. You know, look what happened with the pager attack, which they really damaged a lot of people of consequence, meaning leaders. And now they're turning towards it. You know, the frustration I've got, though, Maria, is this should have been solved years ago. The UN Security Council passed a resolution in 2006, 1701, which said that Hezbollah was supposed to disarm. It was supposed to move north of the Litani River. That's about 20 miles within Lebanon, and they never did it. Israel withdrew after the war. Hezbollah did not, and now the Israelis have to react to it. They've got to push back on Hezbollah. They've got to let those families return to the border region around Lebanon, and that this fight is going to continue. But I give the odds to the Israelis right now. They've really damaged the leadership of Hezbollah, and they've damaged the military organization as well. But that's where they've turned to, and that's where you're going to see the fight continue.
Yeah, what a week. They truly decimated the leadership of Hezbollah over the last week, and you mentioned that one incident where Israel was able to get in the supply chain and have those pagers and devices blow up simultaneously, and that was certainly effective for Israel. Interesting that the White House comes out. They say we knew nothing about it. I spoke with Secretary Mike Pompeo over the weekend on Sunday Morning Futures, and he took note of the fact that Israel is no longer sharing key information and its plans with the United States. Watch this. I thought it was really interesting that the U.S. comes out after the explosions of the pagers and devices and says, we knew nothing about this. What does that tell you in terms of Israel sharing information with the U.S. now?
Maria, this is really important. This tells you all you need to know about the Israelis' trust of the United States today. An operation like that, they almost always would have notified the United States in the advance of the attack. But this time, no, this time they didn't notify us, probably because they felt like the Biden administration would tell them, no, you can't do this. If you do this, we will go to the UN, we will hold up weapon systems. And so they said, you know, what the heck, we're just going to do this. We'll ask for forgiveness. That is a deep breach of trust, a way that we didn't have while we were in office for 4 years. And frankly, the United States and Israel haven't had for a long time. The Israelis don't trust us. And frankly, our friends, the Gulf Arab states in the region, have no confidence in us either.
Your reaction?
Yeah, Secretary Pompeo nailed it, Maria.
Yep.
I mean, that's exactly right. They don't trust us, they don't believe in us, and they're not going to give us the information they need. And that, look, that was a brilliant operation, what they did, when they actually seeded the supply chain with explosives and the pagers. And the consequences were enormous. It was really a great job by the Israelis.
Yeah. Let me get your take on the other issues this week at the White House. President Biden hosted leaders of Japan, Australia, and India to his home in Wilmington, Delaware, over the weekend. The White House wasn't available. Jill was doing a different event, but China was the topic of concern, despite White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan claiming that the summit is not about any one country. Biden caught on a hot microphone moments into the meeting, warning the three leaders that China is, quote, testing us all across the region and continues to behave aggressively. But Biden will address the United Nations tomorrow in what will likely be his last big moment in front and center in the world stage. More than 130 world leaders expected to speak at the summit, including Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian, who supports both Hezbollah and Hamas. Lieutenant General, what are you expecting here when Biden addresses everyone at the UN this week?
Maria, I expect absolutely nothing. It's like the quad they just had up there. It was really a meeting of nothing. Look, 2 of the 4 leaders are leaving. You got President Biden getting ready to leave with the election coming up in just over a month. And then you look at Prime Minister Kishida of Japan. He leaves in 9 days. And so you say, why did they even have the meeting? It was kind of like a show. And then when he's going to go to New York, he's going to speak. Honestly, Maria, nobody's going to listen to him because it's actually not only just a lame duck administration, there's no confidence in what the United States is going to say. They haven't resolved anything in Europe with the war between Russia and Ukraine. They haven't solved anything in the Middle East with that war between Israel and virtually everybody else in the Middle East, be it Iran, Hezbollah, Hamas, or the Houthis. And there's nothing being solved in the Far East as well. So it's going to be just a noise event, which is really unfortunate because the UN General Assembly is always a large event and always the key leaders speak, and people do listen to those words.
Well, look, I mean, two ideas here that I'd love you to get your comment on. I mean, first of all, the president of Iran landed at JFK this weekend for the UN General Assembly meeting. I mean, you know, Iran is behind all of this fighting and death and destruction on Israel, and the U.S. issues him a visa? What? To come to the U.S.? I don't care about the UN General Assembly meeting, okay? Why are we giving this guy, the president of Iran, who's behind all of these attacks on Israel, a visa to come to New York City? That's one thing. And the second thing is, you say people are not listening to Joe Biden. I mean, is he still out to lunch? I mean, look what happened this weekend where he pretty much insulted the head of India. Watch this.
I want to thank you all for being here. And now, who am I introducing next? Who's next?
Distinguished guests, the Prime Minister of the Republic of India.
Yeah, that was embarrassing, General. Your thoughts there, and what about giving a visa to the head of Iran?
Yeah, well, look, I understand why they come in here to the UN and why the leaders meet, but we ought to address it, and we don't address it. We don't call them out. It's okay for them to land. It's okay for them to go to the United Nations. But let's use the verbiage. Let's talk about it. Let's explain why this is bad and explain why Iran is actually the enemy of everybody in the Middle East. And actually, they're supporting Russia. They're supporting China. They're supporting everybody that has an intention to cause problems inside the Middle East. And you look at what President Biden just did up there in Delaware with Modi. You know, it really is embarrassing when that happens. It's embarrassing for us as the United States of America, and when you look what the allies are saying as well. So this is one of those things where we've got another, a little over a month till election. Everybody's looking forward to that. But actually, I think we're at a real crossroads, Maria, between rhetoric and reality. And reality is we got some major problems in the world that we've got to help fix.
Yeah, and President Biden is still at the wheel, even if Jill Biden, his wife, is running cabinet meetings now. Lieutenant General, good to see you, sir. Thank you, Keith Kellogg. We appreciate your time.